Christ alone says she attacked him, Ed. All of us need to follow the true Jesus. Truth without mercy is wrong. Mercy without truth is wrong. She called him to mercy. She calls us to mercy. She didn't make any kind of proclamation about the people she was asking him to be merciful towards. She just said, there are people out there who are afraid. They're afraid. Done. Period. Over. There are some LGBTQ plus teens who are afraid. There are families who are afraid they're going to be separated. There are people who pick the food in our fields and take care of us, and they're afraid. They don't know about the future. She didn't even go into why they're afraid. She just simply said, at this particular time, with the political atmosphere being what it is, they're afraid. Please be merciful and compassionate to them. If you have a problem with that, then my argument would be you're attempting to see truth as something that it isn't. Jesus calls us to love our neighbor without condition. Jesus calls us to take care of the vulnerable in our community without condition. He doesn't say love your neighbor as yourself so long as your neighbor is sinless, so long as your neighbor is straight, so long as your neighbor is here legally, so long as your neighbor has the right papers. No. Love your neighbor as yourself. And who is your neighbor? All people are your neighbor. No conditions. Love them. That's the truth of that message. So, truth without mercy is wrong. Yes, it is. Mercy without truth is wrong. I don't think you can have mercy without truth. Not the Christian truth. See, Christian truth calls us to mercy. Those two things swim together. Those two things, they don't exist without one another in the Christian world. I am called to have mercy upon you out of my love for God. I'm called to love you out of my love for God. By showing you love, I am showing God that I love God. By showing you mercy, I am showing God that I love God. Those things are all together. Those things are all together. She didn't attack him at all. At all. At all. If she wanted to attack him, she could have. That's her cathedral. She could have done whatever she wanted. She could have kicked him out. He's a guest in that church. We have rubrics. We have rules within our church that say, I can ask somebody to leave if I know that they are living in particular ways. I can ask someone to leave if I know that they are in conflict with their neighbor. And I can tell them, because there's this little passage that Jesus spoke about, I can tell them, go back to your neighbor and resolve things, and then you are welcomed back. But I need you to reconcile first. It's not one we use very often, but it's biblically founded. She easily could have told him, you're not welcome. She could have said, just out of protest, we're not having it here. I don't want any of you here. And then she could have went on a rampage. Then she could have went on lambasting him. She could have spoke volumes. She could have written editorials. She could have done podcasts. She could have reasoning exactly why she did it. If she wanted to attack him, she really could have attacked him. This wasn't an attack. This was incredibly gentle. This was an incredibly gentle encouragement. And not for nothing, but if you can see that as an attack, dear Lord, what will you do when he is actually criticized? What will you do when he is actually lambasted? What will you do when he is actually attacked for his policies and for his behaviors and for his decisions and for his choices? That wasn't an attack. She was speaking the truth. And through that truth that she was offering, through that truth of Jesus Christ that she was sharing, she was encouraging someone who is arguably the most powerful man on the planet for the next 4 years to be kind, to be compassionate, to be merciful, to be forgiving, to show the world and to those people who are afraid the characteristics of what it means to be a Christian. Amen.